Hello and welcome. My name is Kaylee and this is Bloom Sewing Studio. Welcome to part 2 of my temple dress video. I have been through so much in trying to create this dress and it's been such a fun process. The dress is actually complete. Unfortunately, a lot of my prior footage had got deleted somehow, and so the video that I have for you has some missing parts where I'm going to come in and fill in kind of like what's been happening, and then I will show my finished product. But without further ado, let's get into the rest of this video and how far along I got on this dress. All right, so just an update. In the last video, I had just finished the sleeves. I got them exactly how I wanted them. I actually didn't, but I thought that I did in that video. I did make some minor adjustments before I moved on and put them into the final piece, which I think is what I did here in this next video that you're about to see. So since I had done that, I felt like everything was looking good and things were moving forward smoothly. And so I decided that I was going to go ahead and start cutting out the entire bodice in the fabric that I wanted to use. And so these next clips are just going to show that process of me cutting it out, sewing it, and then we'll see how far I get from there. And if you haven't seen part 1 of my temple dress video, you can go ahead and watch that here. I'll put it in the cards and in the link down below and at the end of the video so that you can find it, because it goes through my design process, how I came up with the design of my temple dress, and I also walk through like all the different mock-ups and how I made certain changes. And so it's pretty fun to watch me learn through the process of the mock-ups. Anyway, let's get into these next parts. Okay, so I've made some adjustments. I believe I mentioned that I was going to adjust the sleeve a little bit more. So this is the newer sleeve. I will be adding the elastic to it and hemming it and stuff, but I just wanted to see how it was going to fit through here. And I like that much better than this one. So I'm sure I could tweak all day. And eventually I would get to exactly what I was looking for, but I really like how this one's looking. I had just studied that shirt a little bit more, and yeah, I like this. So now that I've got this done, I'm going to go ahead and unpick it, and then I'm going to cut the rest of the fabric out and start putting it all together. It's going to be great. Okay, yeah, so I was right. Basically, in the last video, I ended on a high. I loved the sleeve. It had made huge improvements from the very beginning. However, the more I had looked at it, the more I realized like there's still some things about it that I don't like. I wanted it to be a little closer to my arm. And although it did look so much better than the last one I had done, it still wasn't where I wanted it to be. So the additional tweaks that I made basically just slimmed it down a little bit. So it was hugging my arm a little bit more, especially up here on my bicep. And that's the tweak that I made. And you may or may not be able to see it in that video, but that's what I did. So next, in this next clip, I'm going to be unpicking that sleeve, and I'm going to be saving it for the final bodice piece so that I don't have to make an extra sleeve. So here I'm just cutting out that second sleeve. Later on, I run into an issue where I accidentally created two of the same side sleeve. I wasn't paying attention close enough like I thought I was. So even though I said I was trying to avoid doing extra sleeves, I still had to do extra sleeves. Now here I've gone ahead and cut out that front center bodice piece, and what I'm doing is drawing the vertical lines for my pin tucks. And so I'm just going through and doing that with a heat erasable pen, which I'm actually going to have to redo a few marks as I go because the heat, removed it. To make it easier on myself, I decided to go ahead and press the pin tucks before I sewed them, and it really made all the difference. However, like I said before, because it's a heat erasable pen, I did have to go in and remark some of the lines. However, it worked out just fine, and this was a huge, just a really important step that I took that made a huge difference. All right, so last night I finished just the center part. I think it's looking really nice in this fabric. I love how drapey and flowy it is. It is going to be quite transparent, so I might have to do a lining of some sort, but I'm really loving how this is looking. I was unable to move forward because this piece that I have for the edge, well, it's not the edge, for in between, I only have one. And I looked through my stash and I had just purchased one and now they don't have it anymore. So I purchased a whole other section of it and it will get here probably tomorrow, so then I can move forward on that. In the meantime, I'll probably move forward on the sleeves and try and get those done so that when everything else arrives, I can just compile and get the bodice done. And then I'll need to cut out the skirt. So we've got a lot to do, but I'm looking forward to having this done. And yeah, that's where we're at. Well, hello, it's been a minute. I finished the sleeves, not without problems though, because I accidentally created two left sleeves, so I had to redo it. That's because I already had one made, the one that I used on my sample piece, and I was like, I'll just make the opposite, and somehow I didn't. So yeah, anyway, it's all done now. I think it's looking quite nice. I am a little bit unhappy with this section because it's not as stretchy as I wanted it to be, and I'm not sure why. So I might have to redo that and figure out how to make it stretchier than it is. And then as you saw, I got this part done. I think I'm going to line it with just another piece of this. I don't know if you can tell, but look how much better that looks. Look how much better this looks when it has something behind it. So I'll probably do that. I don't know about the whole bodice. Like I probably should, but I don't know if I will. And then lastly, in the mail, I purchased some more of this because the one that I had and was using, I only had one and I needed more and they didn't have it in stock anymore. So picked a different kind and I think it looks really nice. Holding it up to the white though, it looks kind of off-white. Let's see. Well, I mean, it is a little different, but it's not terrible. I really love how this looks. I wasn't sure I was going to like it, but I actually really like it, and I'm excited to use this. So that's where we're at. Okay, little update. So as I was sewing and I put this piece on, I noticed that I didn't like how one of the sides was looking, and it was the front side. I got it all the way like pinned, and I went and I looked in the mirror, and I didn't like it. So took it off and I made both ends more of the same so that they will start and they will finish in the same way. And I think I'm gonna like this a lot better because it will just come down to a point rather than be kind of chunky like it was. And so that's what I did. And now I'm putting it back on. I don't know how far I'll get tonight, but I'm just making this like a labor of love. I'm not going to stress because I stressed on my elf dress and I want this to be dedicated to God, in which case it should be very peaceful. Okay, is this not looking so pretty? Oh, I just love it. Oh my gosh. It's coming together. This is crazy. I can't believe I have figured this out. Now, imagine it next to this piece. Yeah, it's really hard to imagine. Can't get anything laying straight without it going over. Okay, that'll do. Oh, this is so pretty. I'm so excited. Okay, well, that's it for now. So after this point, I kind of lost steam and I got a little bit, I kind of like didn't want to keep making the dress because I kind of got weighed down by like having to film it. And so I just decided, you know what, I've already put this dress off for so long. I'm just not going to film it and I'm just going to work on it. It was like crunch time for the dress because we were getting ready to move and I wanted it to be done before I left. So I was just really focused on trying to get it done. And so that's what I did. And here we have the finished dress. I really love how this turned out here. Unfortunately, the fabric of this frill does not match the fabric of the white dress as well as I had hoped. Indoors, I don't feel like is as noticeable, but outdoors in my pictures and in the videos I have of this dress, it's like very noticeable, which makes me sad, but it is what it is, and I'm still happy with the outcome of this dress. Being able to, oh, I can hang that there. Being able to have designed and created and just grown through this process has truly been such a beautiful experience for me. As I have said along the way, this is a very special dress to me, and it feels like it's been dedicated to God. And in the process, as this dress has been refined through all of the steps leading up to it, all the things that I had to unpick or redo or fix, I kind of feel like it's symbolic of my life, of our lives with our relationship with Jesus, and how slowly and throughout our lives he refines us and he unpicks things and makes it better. And it's just such a beautiful and symbolic dress for me in my life. And I just feel like I've grown so much through the process of creating this dress. And now I get to wear it inside his holy house, which is extra special and exciting for me because um, I love to feel as close to God as I can. And although, yes, I can feel close to God outside of his temple, there is nothing like being inside his holy house and feeling the immense and transcendent peace that is found therein. And so Thank you for coming along with me on this journey of creating this dress, for watching all of my failures and my excitement and all the things that I learned along the way. It was so much fun, way funner than making my elf dress. And I'm grateful that I got into a better mindset through it all. So without further ado, let's get into some of those pictures and videos that I got of this dress. Let's get into it.
When the stars burn out and the strong winds come, I will lift my eyes to the rising sun. He is the Prince of Peace. He steadies my soul. I am his hands and feet. The whole world will know I'm a disciple of Christ. I will never leave him. He is the truth and the life. He's the strength in my weakness. I will shine till the whole world sees. He's the light that will set us free. I'm a disciple of Christ. Out of all the paths that I could take, giving him my life was the only way.
If you made it this far, thanks for sticking around to the end. I would invite you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already for more fun and creative videos with sewing. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.